Effortless relationships. How do we do that? I guess we need an understanding of the different personalities and building connection. Those are really the main things that might help us. So it can feel overwhelming to sort of, build and maintain relationships. However, it's really important that we sort of make an effort because obviously, it's personally and professionally favorable to have good relationships. And we also want to connect deeply with others. We want to sort of foster the understanding between each other and collaborate. So understanding different personality types is often crucial for the effective communication and conflict resolution when we disagree. So there are 4 primary personality types, their communication styles and how to navigate interactions for positive outcomes. I'm going to have a look at that now. So first of all, there's the analytical type. So their traits are usually detail-oriented, they're logical, systematic, and they communicate by, sort of preferring facts and data. They may struggle with emotional discussions though. So that's a bit of an issue for them. And then there's the driver type. They're decisive, goal-orientated, and assertive. So they communicate very directly and to the point. Often might come off as abrasive. And then there's the expressive type. They're very outgoing, enthusiastic, social. They use stories and emotions and can maybe be a little bit over dramatic. And then the amiable type is passionate, cooperative, easygoing. They focus on harmony when they communicate, and also they might actually avoid confrontation, so they're not very confrontational. So understanding these personality types can help us adapt our communication to have, more productive interactions. Well, not to forget though, there are verbal and non-verbal communications. So it's not all about words. Our body language, our tone, and facial expressions they all contribute to how messages are received. And that's really a tricky scenario, isn't it? Because it all plays together. So one technique that is really helping to break the barriers down is called the active listening techniques. We don't really grow up with learning this, so it's actually very, very powerful. The first step of that is paraphrasing. So when someone talks, and obviously we don't talk over them, but we let them speak, and when they're finished, we repeat back what the other person has said to confirm that we have understood what they have said. This needs a little bit of practice, but it's very effective. People want to feel heard, they want to feel understood, and they want to feel that we accept what they have said. We might not agree with it, but we can paraphrase what they have said without putting any judgment on it. That's quite powerful. And then we should empathize. We do need to show that we understand their feelings. So you could say something like, I see how this is difficult for you, or I understand the problem. And another technique is asking open-ended questions. That definitely encourages dialogue rather than saying, oh, why did you do that? Or, what was the purpose of that? So you could ask open-ended questions like, can you explain more? Or how did this happen? Tell me more. How would you like to resolve this? Sort of along those lines, open-ended questions, not closed-ended questions. So really recognizing the dominant traits of those around us, we can actually, adapt our approach for better communication and connection. But then, if things escalate a little bit, we definitely can use effective conflict management. Well, first of all, we need to recognize the triggers. So really we need to identify what normally sparks conflict in our relationships, whether it's personal or professional. So this awareness really can help navigate the disagreements more effectively. And, the most common techniques for de-escalating conflict is, first of all, stay calm, which is really difficult sometimes when emotions are high. But if you keep your tone steady and avoid raising your voice, that's the first step, and that's quite a really important one and an effective one. And then maybe find common ground. We focus on shared goals or interests. So, find something that you guys can agree on. And I've mentioned this before, taking a break, walking away, breathing deeply is definitely a good strategy when emotions are high. And maybe agreeing on, hey, I can see that we're getting all, fired up here. Maybe we need to calm down and continue the conversation in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. Empathy is definitely important. It's really important to show the other person that you understand their perspective, because that makes it easier and paves the way to find a resolution and a solution, and also connecting to each other. So establishing trust is really kind of like the foundation of any strong relationship. So if you're consistent, reliable, and open in your interactions, that is the first step of building a good relationship. And then sometimes it's also good to share your own experiences and emotion, which then basically shows your own vulnerability. That can create deeper connections and encourage others to do the same. So that's another part of positive relationships. And there's another point that's really important. It's not about I'm right, you're wrong. It's more like, let's find a win-win situation where everyone can be happy. So it's kind of like collaborative problem solving aspect and approach, which definitely strengthens relationships. And then sometimes it's also good to sort of encourage a dialogue about what's working and what's not. That's also based on a trusting a relationship that encourages improvement. So effortless relationships really require an intention and an understanding of the other person. But you really can enhance your connections with everyone in your life to use the strategies that I've discussed. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for listening.